In 2003, a lorry driver named Keith Scales pulled over on a dark Kent road at 1 in the morning. He thought he'd hit someone. He got out of the cab, walked to the front of the lorry, checked the road in both directions. There was no one there. But on the bonnet, pressed flat into the dust, was the clear impression of 2 small hands, like someone had braced themselves against the impact. Keith never drove that road again. And he was not the first. To understand what is happening on Britain's roads, you need to go back to old days. For most of the 20th century, hitchhiking was not dangerous. It was ordinary. Students, soldiers, farm workers, anyone who needed to move and had no other way. Drivers stopped without a second thought. That world ended slowly, somewhere in the 1980s, as car ownership rose, as bus routes improved, as the news began filling with stories that made people afraid of strangers. People tell their stories separately, sometimes years apart, to local newspapers, to police officers, to folklore researchers who collected them in the 1970s and 80s. And yet the accounts are nearly identical. A figure at the roadside, pale, still, waiting. A driver who stops. A passenger who gives an address and says nothing else. And then, at some point during the journey, the driver glances in the rearview mirror. The seat is empty. No door open. No sound. No explanation. Just gone. Folklorists eventually gave these stories a name. The Vanishing Hitchhiker. But naming it doesn't explain it. And it certainly doesn't make it stop. In 2003, a lorry driver named Keith Scales pulled over on a dark Kent road at 1 in the morning. Bluebell Hill. The road runs along the North Downs, a ridge above the River Medway Valley. In daylight, it is beautiful, the kind of English countryside that ends up on postcards. At night, it becomes something else entirely. The hedgerows on both sides of the road grow close and dark. The nearest town is only a few miles away, but in the dark on that road, it feels like the edge of the world. Drivers have been reporting something on that road for over 50 years. The same thing, in the same place, every single time. In November the 19th, 1965, 3 young women were traveling along the Bluebell Hill Road. They were on their way home from a party. One of them, the passenger in the front seat, was getting married the next day. At the junction, their car collided with another vehicle. All 3 women died. The bride-to-be never made it to her wedding. The crash was reported in Kent newspapers. People grieved. A community mourned. And then, as always, time moved on. But in 1968, 3 years after the crash, a driver on the same road stopped for a young woman standing at the roadside. She was pale. She was wearing light-colored clothing. She was standing almost exactly at the junction. She got in. The drive was silent. He asked where she was going. She gave him an address, a wedding venue. When they arrived, she stepped out without a word. He watched her walk, and then she was gone. The next day, he mentioned the incident to someone local, describing the woman in detail. The driver had never heard the story before that night. He described her perfectly, down to the smallest detail. They listened. Then their expressions changed, because they recognized her. In 1992, a paranormal researcher named Sean Tudor spent 6 months collecting and cross-referencing the Bluebell Hill accounts. He compiled 17 separate driver testimonies from the previous 3 decades. He compared them to the 1965 crash report. The physical description given by the drivers, the pale complexion, the light clothing, and the approximate age, the position at the junction, matched to 3 women killed in the crash. Tudor then found their family. He sat across from her mother in her living room. He described what the drivers had reported seeing. Bluebell Hill. The road runs along the North Downs, a ridge above the River Medway Valley. He was driving home from a late shift. The road was empty, and then the headlights caught her. Standing at the junction, pale clothing, not moving, facing the road. He told himself she must have broken down, must have had an accident, must need help. She got in the back seat without a word. She gave him an address, a village 4 miles away, and then she was silent. For 4 miles, she sat behind him and said nothing. At the edge of the village, he looked in the mirror to tell her they were nearly there. The back seat was empty. He pulled over. He walked around the entire car, checked the back seat, checked under the car, checked the road in both directions. He called out into the dark, but no answer. He went to the address she had given him. A terraced house on a quiet street. He knocked. An elderly woman came to the door. He described the girl he picked up. The woman started to cry. She said, "That's my daughter." She said she died 3 years ago on this road. Throughout the 1970s, Kent newspapers received reports of the same encounter. Different drivers, different nights, same junction, same girl. He was driving home July 13th, 1974, just after midnight. Good enough. A 35-year-old bricklayer from Rochester was driving home along Bluebell Hill. He had been on that road 100 times. He knew every bend. A young girl, standing in the middle of the road, not at the side, in the middle, looking directly at him. He stamped on the brake. He heard the impact. He felt it through the whole car. He got out. She was lying in the road, a cut on her forehead, grazes on her knees. She was breathing. She was real. He carried her to the grass verge. He wrapped her in the tartan blanket from his boot. He tried to wave down passing cars. Not a single one stopped. So he did what any decent man would do. He drove to Rochester Police Station to get help. When he returned with 2 officers, the blanket was there, right where he had left it. She was not. They searched with torches. They called in tracker dogs at dawn. The dogs found no scent. The road showed no blood. His car showed no damage. Maurice Goodenough told the News of the World, "I'm not going mad. But where did she vanish? I'm still shaking." July 13th, 1974, just after midnight. Goodenough. A 35-year-old bricklayer from